today I just wanted to go through a short video explaining a little bit more how to clean data. And I'm not going to go super in depth, but I did want to highlight some of the main functions that we're going to be using, in particular filter and mutate. So if you're not that familiar with these functions, hopefully this video will help you get more acquainted. So we're going to start with just a small data frame. Let me just clean this up so we can start kind of from a fresh memory. Let me clear the console right there, and let me clear also the memory. Great. And let's load this data set right here. Okay, so again, this is kind of a toy data set. We only have 8 observations, 4 different variables, but I think it's important because you can now see what we're doing and actually kind of see which observations we should keep and which ones we should drop. So it's a good exercise in that sense to get used to these different functions. So let's start with filtering. So a lot of the times you want to focus only on a subset of observations and not the whole data set. So how can we do that? Anytime that you think about subsetting, you should think about the function filter. So let's start with this first task, create a data set with only married females. So again, I want to only keep those observations who are either married or and females. Sorry, both at the same time, right? So this is our data set. So as you can see, only this first 5 observations right here are female. And from those observations, only 1 is married, okay? So we should end up with a data frame that only has 1 observation. So let's see how we do that. So let's create a new data frame to keep the original intact. I'm gonna call it data frame FM. And we pass our original data set, and then we use the function filter. Okay, so within the function filter, we need to write a logical expression that is true for married females and false in all other cases. So what logical expression can I write? So first of all, I need to say that people need to be married, right? So married needs to be equal to 1. The double equal sign is the logical expression for being equal to. Okay, if I only use 1, this will not work. So you need to use 2 equal signs. That's kind of making the logical comparison. So observations need to be married. Okay, and at the same time, we add the amperscore. That's the and representation in this case in R. So and they need to be female, right? So for someone to be female, it needs to be gender, again, double equal to F. Be sure to do F in quotations and not do F like this. This is not right. This will be equaling gender to false, which is not what we want to do. So as you can see here, gender is a string variable, so double quotation marks. Okay, so as we mentioned, we only have 1 female that is married, so let's run this and see what we obtain. Great, so as you can see, we get 1 observation. They're female and they are married. Okay, so this worked great. Let's do another one, but now let's think about not necessarily conditions that need to happen at the same time, but either or. So let's build this new data set with people that have income over $40,000 or are not married. So how can we do that? Let's create a new data frame. Again, I'm gonna name it E40 single. Okay. And again, I'm gonna start with my original data set. And again, the filter function. We're subsetting, so we need filter. So in this case, income needs to be about $40,000. That's pretty straightforward. But in this case, or they need to be not married. The symbol for or in this case is that vertical line. Okay, so that means or. And in this case, they don't need to be married, so they need to be different than 1. Okay, exclamation point equal means not equal. Okay, in a logical expression. So I'm saying that if an observation has an income over 40,000 or are not married, then I'm gonna keep it. If they have an income under 40,000 and are married, I'm gonna drop it. Okay, so let's see. As we can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that are not married. Okay, all of those we keep them. From the people that are married, this one has income over 40,000, this one too, and this one too. Okay, so we're keeping everyone. So this data set should be actually exactly the same as this data set. So let's see if that happens. Exactly. So great. So you can see here, we also have a data set of 8 observations, and everyone is either not married or has an income over 40,000. Okay, so great. We've done subsetting. Let's try now a little bit of mutate. Okay, so mutate is a great function that basically helps us either transform existing variables or create new variables. Okay, so it depends on whether our variable already exists in our data frame or it does not, and we're creating a new one. So in this case, we want to create an indicator variable, meaning a binary variable that captures whether people have an income over $100,000 or more or not. Okay, so it's gonna be 1 if they're over 100,000 and 0 in another case. So how do we do this? So we're gonna use our same data set, and we just want to add the variable to that same data set. That's why I'm using the same name. Okay, and we're gonna use the function mutate. So I'm going to create a variable that's called income 100. So this is a new variable. And what I'm gonna do is actually use the function if else. So if else, as I mentioned in class, basically works the same as the if function in Excel. It takes first a logical expression, then whatever value you want to assign if that expression is true, and then whatever value you want to assign if that expression is false. So in this case, the expression that we want to use is whether income is above $100,000 or not. So income above $100,000 or not. If that is true, then I want this to return a 1. If that is false, I want it to return a 0. Okay, so as you can see, we should get 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. That's the structure. So let's run this. And let's see our data. 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. Okay, that's great. So I think that this is the more straightforward way to do it. And again, it's much more flexible than other ideas, but there are other ways also that you can create the same thing. So let me just quickly show you other ways to do it. So let's create the same variable again. So basically what it's gonna like rewrite it. I wanna create income about 100,000, and I'm gonna do it just much simpler and just say that if income is about $100,000, this will return a true. If it's not, it's gonna return a false. Okay, simple as that. So let's run this. As you can see there, let's plot it. And now we have basically the same thing, but instead of zeros and ones, we just have false and true. Okay, but it's equivalent to this. R does understand true and false as zeros and ones, so you could work with this. But sometimes maybe you just want it to be numeric for consistency. So a quick way to also create this, we can do the same thing again. Income above $100,000, but we now wrap it in a function that's called as numeric. The only thing that this does basically is take this logical variable and transform it into numeric. So it translates the falses to zeros and the trues to ones. So let's run that again. Let's run this one more time. And as you can see, we are back into the same place that we were using the if else. Again, two different ways that work in the same way. You can code the same thing using different functions. So make sure again that you play around. If you find different functions that you like or that you're more comfortable with, and again, they accomplish the same objective, feel free to use them. Just make sure that you know what's going on and not just blindly copy paste code. Okay, play around with this. Try different ways of subsetting. Play with the data that we actually provide in the class as well. Okay, and yeah, just get into coding, and I'm sure you'll be doing great in no time.